And I don't see anybody on the actual video recording. If you're having troubles, if you're speaking and I can't hear you, I've been having a problem with this with our webinars in the last couple of days. So if I can't hear you, which I can't hear anybody right now. There's a chat box. I'll put something in there. Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me, but again, I can't hear you. Is there any way, instead of doing the call-in number, do you guys have a computer with microphone and speakers? You can do computer audio, and then hopefully I can hear you. No audio on the computer. What's the best phone number to reach you at? And I guess I should reach Lori. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call that number and we're gonna be able to speak through the phone. Still stay connected to the webinar. You guys can see me, right? You can see my screen? Okay, so I'll call that number right now and we'll do that. The other person, if somebody's joining from offsite, they'll just be able to listen to us and then they can comment on the chat box. So we'll do that, and then I'll fortunately have to figure out what the heck is going on with my conference call line. I called on it yesterday and I could hear myself, so it's weird. Hang on one sec. Yeah, can I speak to Lori, please? Oh, okay. Is she on? Are you the one who gave me the phone number? Okay, cool. Am I training you basically today, or are we talking all together, or? I may be able to. I use this like voice over IP kind of thing, so I'm not too familiar with the interface. Hold on, let's see. Invite to conference call. Yes. Okay, Lori, what's your number? 91893 52701. I'm calling you right now, Lori, so they should be able to add you to this conference call. Lori. Okay, so can we all hear each other? Yes, I can hear you. Did we lose? Okay, we got you on too? Okay, cool. So everybody can hear each other, everybody can hear me, and you can see my screen. Awesome. Okay, so now we got that technical difficulty taken care of. We're here for training today. Obviously, you guys have had an account for quite some time, but Lori's just looking to learn more about it, be more aggressive with using it, and so it can benefit you guys and get more sales and everything like that. What kind of primarily would you like me to focus on today? I mean, we can focus on the nuts and bolts of how it works and what you need to do for a customer, or we can focus on like the bigger picture and figure out ways that you can use this to help sell cartridges and get more customers and that sort of stuff. What kind of stuff are you looking for today, Lori? Okay, sure. And this is being recorded, so I can send this to you later and put it on a private YouTube link, and you guys can watch this for yourselves later. Okay, so for somebody starting fresh, brand new, you may be going, what is this? Why do I have to use it? But with any website that's out there selling printer cartridges, and there's a lot of them. I mean, you guys have a lot of competition. Easy Order is a way for you to distinguish yourself from all the competition that's out there. Everybody that sells cartridges basically has an e-commerce website. The big boxes, your smaller independent dealers like yourselves, you know, and everybody does that, and that's fine because that's the industry's kind of standard. But there are some advantages and disadvantages to doing it like that. And what Easy Order is, and I won't go into the whole spiel about how we started and all that kind of, just know that we've been around in the industry for about 13 years now, helping people like Cartridge World sell more product and you know, differentiate themselves from the competition. Easy Order is more customer service oriented than any other thing out there to help you sell cartridges. You basically say, okay, customer, I'm going to create a relationship with you, one-on-one relationship. I'll do all the work, and all I want you to do is order from me. So instead of having a customer say, go to my website, which first off, they have to find it. They have to search engine find it, which costs a lot of money, and then they have to find the website. Then they have to create an account, fill out all this information, find their cartridges, find their printers, add them to their favorites list, put in their billing, put in their shipping, put in their payment method, and after all that's done for the first time, they can order. And we feel like that's just a lot to ask for a customer, especially when you don't know if they really want to do business with you. They may just be trying you out, that sort of thing. So if you can come at them with something totally unique and different than what they've experienced before, which is basically that, go to my website and fill out your information, you can really get your customers loyalty. And loyalty, it's not just brand loyalty, it's being able to order from you every single time. And so what Easy Order does, instead of making the customer find you and remember your phone number and their username and password and log in and all this stuff, is Easy Order actually allows you to create customized order forms based on what your customer has at their office or location. And then you do all the work and then basically send the customer a welcome email. And you welcome them to the system and you say, here's how you order from us. You download a desktop icon that goes on your desktop that's branded to Cartridge World. And so when you need to order, all you have to do is click on that little yellow icon with Cartridge World on it, and it's going to instantly open up your browser. It's going to log you in with your username and password securely, and it's going to show you your list of products that you've told me that you had. And then we built the order form. All the products are there. It's very easy to find stuff. And so you take your customer from having to do 13, 14 steps in order to place an order with you to all they have to do is in 3 clicks. They click on the icon, they order the cartridges, and then they click send. And so we've whittled it down to just 3 steps, which if you can give your customer something that makes something, I mean, be honest, ordering cartridges is not the highest point of anyone's day. It's probably one of the many jobs that are on this person's shoulders at the company that they're at. They aren't just there to order printer cartridges. So if you can make that experience shorter and faster and easier for them, they're definitely going to reward you by loyalty and keep ordering from you and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the gist of what Easy Order is and why it's different. We're the #1 ordering system for Cartridge World. They've taken away their e-commerce stuff, and now anybody who wants to do e-commerce or online ordering with Cartridge World will be running through Easy Order. So first, how you get here, you go to, and you may want to just jot this down, you go to cartridgereorder.com, cartridgereorder.com. That's your landing page to log in. When you get there, you have a username and a password. The username is CW-Tulsa, and the password is this 7x70 group. And so that's how you would log into this account. And once you log in with those credentials, you basically get to this page, and we call this your home page or your landing page, your control panel. All those terms will be thrown around. So this is how you're going to deal with everything in your account, your customers, all the marketing aspects, quotes, everything will be dealt with through here. So going through the nuts and bolts part of the part of the training, The first thing you do is go to Manage Customers, because that's where our customers live. If you look in here, they have 9 pages of customers, and they're all in here. You can see the customer name here, the date they were created here. If they have purchasing, you can see that there. The number of order forms they have, this number here indicates how many order forms are under that one customer. Easy Order is unique because you can have one customer, but that one customer could have just one order form, or they could have 400 order forms, all for different locations. And so you'll indicate how many locations or how many order forms the customer has with the number right there. So to create one of these customers, which is what I'll take you through first, you want to go up to the top. Now up at the top, there's these what are called action buttons at the top of the page. Anything to do in Easy Order, they're always going to be up here. So we always want them to be in front of you. We want them to be easy to understand what they do. We even have little thought bubbles that pop up over each one, letting you know what anything does. In fact, if you go over anything in Easy Order, you'll see that we put little thought bubbles over pretty much everything, letting you know what things do. So if you're not sure what something does, you can always hover over it and it'll tell you what it does. So the first thing we do is create a new customer. So I'll click on New, and that's going to take me to add a new customer. Hold on one sec. I'm going to turn this, I have this autofill feature right now. I'm just going to turn it off so it doesn't confuse anybody. Extensions, autofill disabled, boom, and then, yeah. Okay. So resume. Resume. Okay, cool. Can you guys see me again? Yeah, okay. So we're at the new customer screen. So what you want to do is you want to put in your customer name. Now, right here, you're basically just putting in the basic customer information. So if you have a customer that has, let's say it's a pizza place and they have 5 locations all across, your town or your state that you want to handle, this is where you'd set them up. So I'm gonna call this like pizza place, and that's the customer name. It's going to your store. If you had multiple stores, you could select which store it belonged to. The first thing you want to look at is this: lock prices on customer order form for special pricing. Because Easy Order isn't an e-commerce website, and because any e-commerce website, you show a price, you kind of live and die by that price. Because if another customer sees it and they're like, "Oh, you're selling it for this price," but then you're selling it to me for a different price, like that doesn't make sense. So with Easy Order, you don't have to deal with that. Easy Order can have different pricing on different customers' order forms depending on either their volume or maybe you have a relationship with this customer, whatever it is. No other customers will be able to see your customer's pricing. So you can absolutely have different special pricing on each customer's order form and nobody's going to see it. If you do have that special pricing, we consider that you lock the special prices so that if you ever did an update of some sort, that your pricing on that customer's order form wouldn't be wiped out. So if you want to lock it, if you have special prices, you do that here. Basic attention stuff, accounting. We're in Austin, Texas. So if you're wondering where we're at, don't really worry about this kind of stuff. You can assign sales reps to customers as you create them. You can also, if you have a template, you can add a template to the customer as you create them, but don't worry about this stuff right now. It's more advanced. So once you fill out the information with the customer, now this is kind of like the build to for corporate. You just click on save. And notice that the next thing it asks you is add a location for pizza place, okay? So if your pizza place company only has one location, we fill this out for you and you keep it the same. And that'll indicate that there's just one location for this company. But if this is pizza place like, North Austin, then when you created this, it would be Pizza Place North Austin, and this particular order form is for Pizza Place North Austin. So the location name is a big deal. People used to get kind of confused on what is the location and what is the customer. And the customer is kind of like the highest level, and then the location would be the first location for that customer. Again, if there's a customer that they only have the one location, you leave it pizza place, and then that will make the system say, okay, well, they only have one location for now, and you can always add locations later. The login, you give them the login, but I just make it company centric. Pizza place is easy. It's available. And then the password, we provide a really secure password. You don't really need to change that unless you feel the need to change it. The customer will really never use it anyway because of our desktop icon. They will have a place to log in and use that if they ever have problems, but we keep it a really secure password on there because we don't want anybody's weak passwords and accounts hacked and things like that. So just leave that the way it is. First name, I'm going to call this Chad Smith, and I'm going to put my email address at RemanResource.com. That way I get all the email confirmations that can show you guys. Phone number, fax. Okay, now this is the first part where Easy Order steps in and is again doing something different than e-commerce. E-commerce would just take orders all day and not really care about the customer's ordering patterns or their frequency. And so what this does is you can set an order frequency reminder. I want to know if a customer hasn't ordered from me in 90 days. That's 3 months. And so usually that's a good pattern for a customer. If the customer only orders a couple times a year, you could go 120 days. Or even more out and set that specifically for this customer. But what will happen is if the customer doesn't order for that time frame, you'll get a notification, hey, this customer hasn't ordered in a certain time frame. And then you can go out and reach out to them and follow up with them and see why they haven't ordered. If they, you can say, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while. Just checking in on you, making sure you're good. And the system is sort of helping you stay in front of that customer. I remember when we had our brick and mortar ink and toner business, something would go and I'd see their name on an old invoice or something. I go, oh man, that pizza place hasn't ordered in like 6 months now based off this invoice. And then you call them and they've gone somewhere else and you've lost the business. So this kind of helps you keep in front of your customers and kind of aware of their buying patterns. You can always dial this in and change it if they order more frequently. Sales accounts, looks like you guys got a bunch of sales people in here. I don't know if they're all current, but if you're setting up an account and it is for one of these sales reps, you can just tag the salesperson to the customer's account as you set them up, and then they will have credit for this account. It will go under their sales rep name, and then as you do, you can run reports on the salespeople to see kind of like what their customers have been doing, and some people pay their sales reps commission based off so the reports they run in this. The house account is just kind of the basic default account. It's not assigned to anybody. Tax rate could be 0 if it's a school or a government agency. If your tax rate is something else, you can always put it there. You can always set your default tax rate, and then when you do that and you leave this blank, it'll just populate your default tax rate with whatever that is if you don't fill it out here, which I can show you where to do it later. These Reman discount rates, not a lot of people use them, but if you want to give a discount over your already discounted prices, I do want to stress that it's giving a discount. Like, so if you're 30%, if your regular price is, 30% off the OEM retail price, and you want to give them another 10% off, that's where you do it. You do it here, and that would take another 10% off, almost like an extra discount. So if it's like somebody you have business with and you want to give them a special discount, you can do that. Again, not many people use that. Delivery and shipping, this is just to protect you so you're not delivering something you don't need, or you're delivering at a frequency where it's costing you money. And so the defaults for this from most cartridge worlds are 75 and 7. So for any order over $75, it's free shipping. But if somebody orders only a $30 cartridge and wants you to deliver that to them or ship it to them, you're going to charge them a $7 flat rate to ship it to them. And there's a magic number for you guys somewhere in between 7 and 12, depending on how far the customer is away. But that should cover most shipping or the cost of delivery to the customer. When they check out, it actually says if they only put $35 worth of stuff in their cart and they go to send the order through, it actually stops them and says, hey, do you want to put more items in your cart, because at $75 you get free shipping. And so it kind of upsells them to, order the proper amount of cartridges. Approval minimum, this is something, if you have approval set up in your system, which we have that, so if you have a customer's like, well, I have a purchasing department that needs to approve all orders, can I get them involved? You absolutely can. We have a whole system built for that. And this part just says, I don't want to know or approve any orders unless they're over this amount of dollars. So usually it's a high order kind of warning. And so if somebody orders over $300, then they have to approve the order. Again, that's an advanced feature. Don't worry about that right now. All these are kind of how the order form shows to the customer. We'll keep that. If you want to make special notes down here, like, Chad is awesome, you can do that so your staff knows that Chad's awesome. Chad will never see these because he's the customer. Here's the ship to. This came from the customer information that we had. You can absolutely change that if this location is different, but since we left the location named Pizza Place, it's populating this with the same address. You can copy that to billing, or if you just want to use the customer billing information we had in the previous screen, you could use that. So if you're billing it to corporate, you can check that and do that. Lori, we do have credit card processing available now. I'm still kind of up in the air if it's available for Cartridge World. They tell me it is, and then they tell me it's not, and then they tell me it is. So I've been offering it to people. So we've had credit card processing available for about 4 years now. But Cartridge World's never been able to use it due to some stuff with corporate. But if you guys want to use it, I can give you more information. And then that way, it really does save A&R. I heard a statistic the other day from Alan that 20% of a Cartridge World's stuff is. Lori, are you going? I can hear you. You're very small, but I can hear you. You sound like you're in another room. Well, we lost her. Let me call you back. 918 935 2701. Yes, I can hear you so much better. It doesn't store it. To be PCI compliant, we don't keep any customers' credit cards on file. If we were to even do it third party and do like a cloud-based thing, we're still liable if any of that information gets hacked by the third party company. And so at this point, our credit card processing allows them to put in their credit card number as they order, and then after they do that, it processes the order. So it does do the full credit card processing. We just don't hold it because of that. Yeah, so it goes through an online merchant account. So you have to set up one that's different than your in-store, like swiping merchant account. Usually we use authorize.net. And so authorize.net is your gateway. So it comes from us as the order. We pass the credit card info to authorize.net, and authorize.net puts it in your bank. That's the other way. Yeah. And, it's just one of those things where people want to check out by credit card. They're used to doing it, as they check out most of the times. And that's what I was saying. Alan told me the other day that 20% of a Cartridge World's revenue is tied up in A&R and chasing around payments and things like that. So if you can alleviate that from your process, or at least cut, 20% of it out, you're just helping yourself and that sort of thing. But it's one of those things where you can use it if you want to. You don't have to. There is a $9.99 a month fee for us to use it, for us being the gateway. And then there's a fee for authorize.net. So you really want to be putting some good business on there to be using it, not just for like one or two kind of every now and again. They would, yeah, and I know it's kind of a bummer, but it's one of those things where we're kind of it's a between a rock and a hard place. It's like if we did it, we would have to do some token key kind of thing and have that with a third party that's all encrypted, and then they would have to store them, and then it just could become a mess. Wow. Seems like on that part, with such a big company that they would. I mean, we're a smaller company and we just don't want to mess with it. But it seems like them dealing with point of sale type stuff would have a way to do that, especially since they're cloud based. You could have a cloud based kind of server to do that. But wow, crazy. I see. I there's a Cartridge World owners Facebook group that I'm part of, that because I'm a vendor. Um, oh, that's you. Okay, cool. Uh, I see. Okay. Well, anyway, I was gonna say I heard somebody named Kari Cartridge talking about that just the other day. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why it's been sort of I don't know if it's available or if it's not. Like I've been pushing them. Well, when I talked to Eric, the finance guy, he was like, I was like, well, Eric, if they're gonna do that, it's like most of your people are honest people, but there are people out there who's gonna cheat you. But if they're gonna cheat you, like they're like easy orders, they can cheat you in a million different other ways. You know what I mean? Like they could take Square card payment and then run people's credit cards as they deliver stuff and have it to a different bank, and that's the same thing as easy order. And their best answer to me was like, well, why make it easier for them to do that? And I was like, ugh, because you guys, well, with Erply, we will be integrated with them. We've already done the work on it. And so you will see an order, if it's paid through Easy Order, come into the point of sale as paid. And so you'll be able to true that up at that point. Well, no, if it's a net 30 account, it'll come through as, order received. But if it's a paid order, yeah, so if it comes in as a, net 30 or a credit card order and you didn't have it set up an easy order to take credit card payments, then you would have to go in and process it. If it's just a regular net 30 order and it comes in just transcribed for you, so you don't have to enter it into the POS, and then you would have to deal with it however you'd normally deal with it. And then there would be the credit card paid order that would come through as paid, and at that point, all you have to do is ship it out. Yeah. And so I think that'll be where it trues up, where the real credit card offerings can really happen with Cartridge World. But I mean, if the customer needs it, I've been told to go ahead and use it, because I have people who are like, I have this huge customer and they have to pay by credit card and I'll lose them if I don't get it. And so you have to use it. And so I go to corporate and I go, hey, can we do that? And they're like, we'll do it for them. And so they're letting it go for the people who like need it for their customers, but honestly, everybody needs it for their customers. It's 2018. I was about to go, it's 2017. Gosh dang it. We need our credit card processing, but it's 2018, so even worse. Okay, so back. No, no worries. I have plenty of time today, guys. So if it goes over, it's not a big deal. So we're at the part where we save this first location for Pizza Place. I'm going to click Save, and that's going to take me to where I can create an order. Now it says Modify Order Form. So now I'm at, you can see where we're at, Modify Order Form, Pizza Place, Manage Customers. So we're under Pizza Place. We're adding their first order form. And so here's the other part about Easy Order that's really great is that we've built from scratch, going back 13 years now, we've built our database on our own from scratch. So we have everything from Brother to Xerox in there. We have all the compatible printers and cartridges that go together in a very easy to read format, and we work on it every day. And so if people, like if a new printer comes out, they'll notify us, we'll go add it to the system. We're constantly working on this thing to make it tighter and better. And so that means less filling out of stuff for you. Most e-commerce stuff that you see, they have products, but you have to create the product and add your own description and do things like that. We have it all here for you. So all you have to do is click New, and this will take you to our Find a Product screen. And then you select between the product categories. Now the product categories, we have three. We have Reman, OEM, and Other, which is also considered like compatible. We also have Custom, so if you want to sell things that are not cartridges in a system like office supplies, or you're doing the Why Buy a Printer program and you want to actually sell the printer, you can do that as well. But right now we're just going to deal with Reman. Reman is like anything aftermarket, OEM is anything brand new, and Other is really not ever used. So you're really between Reman and OEM. So I'm going to select Reman, and then I'll select Manufacturer. Notice we keep our manufacturer list kind of short, just to the stuff that people are ordering in today's market. We don't want to have a list of 100 different manufacturers with like 2 products under certain manufacturers. So we keep it tight. So we'll go to HP here. And then you can either go by printer or cartridge. Now, the reason we want and suggest you go by printer is because with a printer, more things go with the printer than a single cartridge. So you could have 8 cartridges, low yield, high yield. You could have drums involved. You could have transfer rollers. I mean, so many more parts go with a printer than just a single cartridge. So if you set it up by printer, you don't have to do each cartridge one by one. You just select the printer and all the cartridges pop up and you select the ones you want. And so instead of asking the customer what cartridges they have, it's way better to ask them what printer they have, and then you can go find that out. We do have a worksheet that'll help you with that. It's a PDF. Let's see if I have one on my desktop right now. I have a bunch of windows open. Yes, I do. So this is the customer printer worksheet. These are available in the download section. This is a editable PDF, so you can just type in it. So it's not like the customer will have to fill it all out on, with their pen and paper and print it out and then scan it again and send it back to you. They just fill it out digitally, and then they, tell you what printer do you have, who uses the printer, what make and model is it, and what department it is in. And if you take this information and then add it to the form, and then they send it back to you, you have every printer that they have in their office, and you can easily set up their Easy Order account. So when I go here and I start typing, let's say it's the HP LaserJet 2600. That's a color laser printer. Instead of typing, HP and LaserJet, which you could spell it in a different way than we spell it and not get as many search results, just type in the number you're looking for, and then anything related to that number will come up. We do kind of a Google type search on our thing rather than a bunch of drop-down menus that take forever. So you just pick Color LaserJet 2600. Notice all the cartridges that are available for this printer come up. So again, this is much easier than adding these cartridges separately. We have the black. Here's a dual pack of the black. We have the cyan, the yellow, the magenta. You can put in the fuser unit and transfer roll it if you want to. Some people do, some people don't. And then also notice we have these Xerox branded compatibles that also go with this HP product. Not a lot of people sell those, but some do, so that's why they're in there. I'm going to click on Save. Now, when you come down here and you're looking at the printer, this is where you kind of customize it for the customer. So if this was Chad's printer, you can put that there. You can do it in the sales department. Now the breakdown of the printer, the retail prices here, we keep up with this retail price just so you know on a weekly basis. We have a little software that goes out and scrapes Staples' website for the most up-to-date retail prices every week. And so especially with you guys being so close to us in Texas, these prices were probably spot on for you guys for most of the retail prices. we price about probably 85% of what's sold at Staples. We have linked to their scraping system. So we have a lot of the products tied to Staples. If you ever see a product that's off from Staples, all you have to do is let us know. You just go to help and let us know that you see something off, and then we'll investigate it and see what's going on. But these prices should be pretty much straight up what Staples is charging in your area as the highest retail cost for Staples. Now this price is your price. This is what you sell it for. If you see this G next to it, which is good that this came up in the demo, because this means you've priced this product before in the system, which is, I always love to see that when people price the items and they've saved it, because you can look at this with the blue and know, okay, well, these guys have priced this before, so I know that this is a good price to give my customer, and I can go ahead. And it looks like you guys have also put the cost in there for a lot of these items, which is great. So you know you can't go below $36.33 when you're dealing with these customers. I don't know how much you have in there for that, but that's great to have all that information. And let's say you run across a printer where this isn't done and these are all white and you don't see the G. That would mean this product is not priced in the system. And so you could price these products out. If you ever did want to make this price permanent, like change the price and make it permanent, you could select globalize the global check, and then when you saved it, it would save all this information as the new price. So if you wanted to go up on your 6000A, you could change this to like $51.99, and then when you hit save, it would globalize that as the new price for that item. So on anybody's unlocked order form that's out there, it would change that cartridge to $51.99, and it would also change it in your master system, and it would change it for that going forward. So if you pulled up this cartridge again, it would change it. But that's only if you check the global box and add it. And if you notice, that's where, when you check global, that's where these open up, and you can add your cost, your yield, and your SKU as well. So since these are all set, I'm not going to change this. You can set this as $51.99. It's only going to appear on this one order form for Pizza Place, because you remember, we're not changing the price globally. We're just adding it for this customer. And so I'm going to click save, and that's going to save the first item. I'm going to create one more new item just to have a decent looking order form. Reman HP printers. I'll do an inkjet this time. We'll go 8600 OfficeJet Pro, and then I'll use the chipped versions of the cartridges. We have the chipped and non-chipped. And I'll click save. I'll call this color copier. Excuse me. Put that. It comes up as a 30% off of whatever we have here in the retail price. As a default, it comes up as that, just as a guide to show you what the 30% off is. And then it would also be, it would look just like this. It would be white. It would not be blue with the G. So you'd see it, it'd be like it almost looked blank because the blue is there and the G is not there. And that's your indication that you've not priced that item before. Mm-hmm. We haven't talked about the cost. It's going to be troublesome enough to get their GPM added, because we do have the GPM in our system for a lot of the products in Easy Order. I spent about a year doing that 2 years ago, and so there is that information in there. Right now it's living behind everything. You can't see it anywhere. A lot of cartridge worlds have their own SKU number for the product, and so that's where the problem lies, is they rely on their SKU number, and they don't give a crap what the global product master CPU is, and so we're trying to figure out a way for them to have their SKU and then also send the GPM CPM SKU to Erpley, so that Cartridge World knows what the product is, but you can still have your own SKU number and refer to it as what you refer to it as. So kind of best of both worlds, like you can still have your SKU. You're not forced to go over this Cartridge World SKU, but we're going to put that Cartridge World SKU with the product anyway. Okay, so now that we've added these two items to the order form, these two printers to the order form, I'll just click save. Now we have a couple items. You can drag and drop items around if you want to reorder them in a different order. If you've changed something and I made a mistake, you can click edit and that will go back in and edit that item. Or if you just want to delete it all together, you can hit delete, and that will remove it completely from the system. If you guys do you do the Why Buy a Printer program? Cool. So this will really help out with that. The biggest part of that is how do you keep up with lease end dates, you know, because they're years out and they're for specific machines and all this kind of stuff. And so we built a little tool in there to help you. So let's say that this is Chad's printer, and this is why you really want to have all your Why Buy a Printer program people using Easy Order, because you can track their leases. So you basically say, okay, this lease is going to end. This is by month, this is by year, so 2019, 2020, and you set that date. So this is the lease end date, and then you can edit the item. And on here, you can still put Chad's printer, but then you put like the SKU number of the printer, you know, with it. And so when you save that, you have Chad's printer, the SKU number of the printer, and the lease end date on that. So when it comes to 3/1/2020, you can set the number of days you want it to remind you, but 6 months out, a month out, you know, whatever you want to set as your parameter, Easy Order will remind you that, hey, Chad's printer, this number, the lease is up in this date. And so you're going to want to have to go check on them and renew their lease. And so instead of you having to look at spreadsheets every month and to figure out who's coming up and who's whatever, just get everybody on Easy Order and put them on the lease tracker. And that way you'll get notifications when someone's up for their lease, and you won't have to worry about, you know, checking things to make sure you didn't miss them and all that kind of stuff. There's just so much room for human error doing the leases and not having a system count down the clock for you. You know what I mean? So very easy to put that in, and then make sure you add the SKU number so you know which, or the serial number, sorry, so you know which machine you're actually talking about. Sure, it's under settings, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Just when I'll just get through the first part of the training, and then we can jump into settings, and we can go through that whole thing. I'll remember to show you that. Okay, so we're right here. We got the 2 printers and cartridges that the customer needs on their order form. You're ready to go. Now, how do you get this to the customer, and how do you get them to understand what to do, and how do you get them to order? So the first thing you do is when you're done, you're okay, I'm ready to mail. I'm going to send my welcome email out to the customer. So you click send mail, and the email comes right here. It says, greetings. Just move my email to a different folder. Hold on one sec. I have a spam filter that's like, oh, let's move this from this folder to this folder. It'll say, greetings, Chad. Welcome to Easy Order. We've created this online order form tailored specifically to your needs. Click here to download your personal desktop icon. And this is what we want them to do. We want them to click here. The one thing that we have put in recently that I don't even know if Lori knows about is this was the biggest piece where you would have to do this for your customer. You would have to explain what they needed to do once they click the icon. You had to handheld them through clicking the icon and installing a desktop icon. It was kind of the biggest hurdle that you had to get over with your customer in order to show them how to order. But now we have this video. It says, check out this quick video on how to download your desktop icon from us. And when you click on this icon, or this link, it opens up a video that basically, all right, so today we're going to be talking about, has my sweet voice on it, and takes them right from the email we're looking at. I mean, you can literally see it's like the email we're looking at. It takes us right from there and shows, like, you know, what this is about and how to download the desktop icon. And then once you have the desktop icon, how to order. And so it takes through the whole process. And so before, when we just had this email and you kind of had to explain it, now you can just have them say, okay, when you get the email, we want you to download that desktop icon, but look at the video that says how to easily order from us, follow the instructions on the video, and then you'll know what to do after that. And so this is what the video shows them how to do. And before I go there, let me show you real quick. As an administrator, you'll need to know this. If a customer ever has trouble logging in, notice we do give them their manual login information. So if they go to cartridge reorder /user/CW Tulsa, which is your landing page for Easy Order, and they put their username and password, they're able to log in through order form just the way they would with any other normal website. And we give that to them. But what we want them to do is click on this download link. So when I click on it, notice it logs me in as the customer. We're logged in as Pizza Place. So we're actually already in the order form. But what we're going to do is it says save the installer, allow by clicking yes, or run. The CPU may ask if the file is trusted. If you want to run it, this is a super safe file. You only have to run it one time. Click yes, click install, close, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to click on install my desktop icon, and it's going to say where. I'm going to choose my desktop, and then I will go back to my desktop. Now I can close this email, close all this stuff. Oh, finish setting up. Skip. Sorry about that. This was installing before the session. Can it go away? Okay, good. So here's the order form installer that we just downloaded for Cartridge World. So all I'm gonna do is click on this. It's gonna pop up with a notification from Windows going, we don't know who you are. We're basically an unknown publisher to Microsoft. We're not a huge company, so we don't go through the process of becoming a known publisher. It costs about $30,000. And so all you have to do is, say run anyway. Tell the customer it's just a bookmark. It's not going to harm your computer in any way. And then basically just allow it to run. Say yes. It's going to install. Close. And it actually logs you into the order form the moment you are finished installing the icon. So we're looking at the Pizza Place order form. Here's all the products that we put in there earlier. All their prices are in there. It's easy to put quantities in and move forward. And so for the customer, this is what the order experience is like. Now, if you've ever ordered a printer cartridge from a website or anything else, you know that it takes time to get to that page and put the order in and log in, make sure your login credentials are right. With Easy Order, this is the customer ordering process. It's click on the icon. They're instantly taken to their order form. Basically, all you have to do is put quantities next to the products that you need. I'll put 2 there. Review order. Everything looks good. These are my 2 carts, $20. I'm saving $78 on my order today. Submit order, and I'm done. Probably, or else I'd just put 0 in the tax rate when I was doing the demo. But I'll show you that. When we go through the settings, I'll show you that. So you see here that, really that took seconds for me as a customer to click on the icon to put my quantities in, to place an order. And so when you show the customer that, the light bulb goes off in their head. They're like, ding. And they're like, well, this is so easy. This is going to make ordering really awesome for me, and I am going to order from them the next time I need them. So the big yellow icon sits on their desktop. It's sort of subliminal marketing as well, because, they see their desktop probably 300 times within a week. And even if they're just subliminally seeing your desktop icon as they go through the work week, when it's time to order cartridges, you know that they've had that sitting on there. They know what it does. They're ready to use it. And so when it's time to order cartridges, they're just going to click on their icon and they're going to be ready to order. Because now you're easier to order from than any big box store, any of your competition that has an e-commerce website. You're just too convenient to not keep ordering from. In fact, we have a 90% reorder rate. Once the customer sees how to order and they understand it, they 90% chance the next time that they need something, they're going to order from you. And then once they've ordered one time after that, they're almost at a 99% chance that as long as they're happy with the product and the prices and everything, they're going to keep ordering in this way. Sure, absolutely. We can change that. We'll dig into settings here in a sec. I can show you where we can change all that. But does that make sense, sort of the whole process of how you create an order form, how you get it to the customer, how you get that icon on the desktop, and how you show them how to order? Does that all make sense to everybody? Cool. Yeah, and I'll be going over that next. Cool. So now that we've talked about the first part, which is getting an established customer or a new customer into the system, we're going to go through and we're going to show you how to quote. That's the other side of the business. Quoting we've completely changed the quoting game with our system. And anybody who's not using our system to quote, one, they're spending too much time quoting, and they're probably not as productive as they would be if they used our system, because our system puts you in so much more of a powerful stance as a salesperson to get to the customer and get them to that next process of being able to be ready to order from you. So under manage quotes, this is where it goes. And we have a bunch of quotes in here, and there are different reasons for the different marked out and not marked out and color coded and all this kind of stuff. And we'll go through that in just a sec. But basically, to start a new quote, you just start off with the quote. Now, I know it looks like a lot of information to fill out, and we know that you may not get a lot of information from the customer when you're quoting for the first time. They may just throw you a business card. Maybe they tell you one of the printers that they have, and then that's it. And so we don't make you fill out a lot of this information. If you do fill out some of this information, it will keep the customer from having to do it later on. Like if you know they're shipping, and you know they're billing, and you pretty much know they're going to be a customer, you can fill that out. It'll save them from having to fill that out later on, but you don't have to. So I'm going to call this Cat's dental, I don't know, whatever. And the contact will be Cat Catrola. And I always say it's not required, but I say an email is required. Just because of what I'm about to show you. RemanResource.com. Okay, cool. So you can change the subject cartridge quote from, whatever, cartridge world that you want to be. You can make it from yourself as a salesperson. You can change that subject line. These are all just how you want the quote to show. We have two types of quote templates. We have an advanced and we have a simple template. So let me add an item real quick to the quote so we can show you the difference between the two. HP printers, we'll do the same 2600 that we did before. So it's super easy. We'll just go boom, 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 save. All the prices are good, hit save. Okay, so now we have a quote item at the bottom of the quote. So now we can do a quote. Now, this is the advanced quote template and the regular quote template. The simple quote template basically it looks like this. It's just a simple quote template. It just has the customer name, the date, your logo, your contact info, the products that you needed, the printer that it's for, the retail price, your price, what you'd be saving if you ordered it today. And it's very easy. You can print this out. There's not a lot of graphics on it, and that's why it's called the simple quote template. Let me go back and I'll show you the advanced quote template. The advanced quote template's a little snazzier. It's a little more branded. Notice when I do that, this annual orders tab pops up. And so it gives you a little more functionality. You can extrapolate how many times a year they're going to order and then give them a much bigger number of savings, which if you're dealing with customers, even if you don't know their order frequency, you could go, hey, if you order this 4 times a year, you're going to save X amount of dollars. And that seems more impressive to them with the bigger number, even if honestly you don't know if they're going to order 4 times a year. So anyway, you add that in. And then if you want to preview this one, it looks a little bit different. It has the cartridge roll branding. It has more of a guarantee kind of information on it. It has the printer, the product, retail price, your price, the savings on each cartridge. If you order today, you're going to save this much, 143. But here's the big number. If you order 4 times a year annually, you're going to save $500 a year on just ordering this one printer's cartridges. And so that makes it seem like a much bigger savings for the customer. Now, normally with a quote, and before we implemented this, the quote process went like this. It was just you give the person the quote, and maybe you print it out and deliver it to them, or you email it to them also as well. But you just kind of give them the quote, and that's where your process ends as a salesperson. I mean, of course, you can follow up and all this kind of stuff with them, but when you hand that quote to them, you're just hoping that they call you after that. Like, please call me if you need anything. And that's kind of like the most powerful stance that you can have at this point as someone selling something to somebody that's brand new. It's a perspective. But with Easy Order, we give you a way to be much more aggressive in your sales tactics. And once we did this, and people started using it this way, we saw a spike in converted customers from a quote to an actual customer. And that's this. It says, don't forget, you can place an order right from this quote. Click Show Order Form to create your online order form. So at the end of this quote, if you emailed it to them and like they're on the phone with them and going over the quote with them, you can say, do you need anything today? And they go, well, no. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me show you how to order from us. That's the words you use. Let me show you how to order from us. And just say, click on that show order form button at the bottom of the page. And when they do, now this is not a live quote, it's not a live PDF, I can't click on this right now, but if I had sent it to myself and then came back on, I could click on this, and when I clicked on this item, it would take this quote and instantly convert it to an order form, just like the ones we were looking at earlier, and the customer is able to order directly from this quote. So when you ask them, do you need anything today, you're literally, because you're about to take them to a place that they can order from. And if they don't need anything, then you show them how to order, and then you get that welcome email. Well, the welcome email is automatically sent as soon as they click this button. And so after you show them this order form, well, this is how you're going to order from us. You've basically now taken your quote and you've converted it into an order form. So you also got a welcome email just a few seconds ago when you clicked on that. And the welcome email shows you how to download a desktop icon so you can get back to this quote whenever you need these items and to order them from us. Now that's a super powerful place to be as a salesperson at the end of a conversation for new business, because one, you have connected to them by giving them that welcome email that shows them how to download the desktop icon. When they have that desktop icon, they are connected to you. They don't have to remember your phone number, your name, any of the products that they had. They just know to click on that icon to get back to you. And so you get that to them, you get the icon on their desktop, you do all that. Even if they don't let you get to the point of saying, well, let me show you how to use the desktop icon, they still have it in their email. When they order, they can still pull it up and they can still download it at that point. But it really does give you the next step to get your customer closer to that buying response that we want from them. We don't want to leave them with a, well, hopefully you call me message. We want to leave them with, here's how to order from us. This is what you do when you need product, and we're here for you. And we have the system. I mean, they think you're super professional because you have this system to handle anything they need. And so you leave them with that professionalism, you leave them with that ability to order from you if they need to. And then at that point, it's up to you to follow up on them. So if they don't order, then you follow up. But you follow up. Yeah, so it essentially converts this quote into a working order form, just like the one we saw before over here. And they're able to order directly from this. No, as soon as they click on that button, it takes them to like this part. And then they get the welcome email, so that if they want to download the icon, they can. But at this point, you can just show them, hey, if you need to order any of these products, just put quantities next to what you need, click on review order, click on send order, and that's how you order from us. Hmm. Sure. So if you get into a customer that's like that, there's a couple responses for them. And we definitely have heard that before since the beginning. And you definitely want to, urge the customer that if they cannot download anything outside software, there are still ways to use Easy Order, and in the same exact manner. So let's find my pizza company again. And let's go to the order forms. And then let's log in like we would be for the desktop icon when we click on the welcome email. So remember, we were here when we downloaded the welcome email. So the welcome email does have a little piece of software, or the desktop icon does have a little piece of software in it. The software, and the reason why you have to install it is we basically take a bookmark that has the password and stuff embedded into it, and then we put a graphic file on top of that. And so the graphic file is the only reason that we have to do an installed version of the icon. But there's another version of the icon that is not branded to Cartridge World that still works in the exact same way, but it's just literally a bookmark. And so for people that don't want to or can't install software on your computer, although this icon is a very unintrusive file that only installs an icon on your desktop, we understand some situations this won't work. Click here to download your simple bookmark. Installs no software whatsoever. So all you have to do is click on this. You can click on anywhere on the whole bar, and then you just click desktop, and it says Cartridge World Tulsa. And if you notice, you go here and we have an icon. This is Cartridge World Tulsa. It's not the branded icon, but if you click on it, it does the exact same thing as the branded desktop icon. Takes you to their order form, but there's no software to install whatsoever. So if you're dealing with a really strict IT person, or we have people government who use this who has just such high security that they can almost have anything on their computer, and this still gets them by. So it's the same experience. It's just you won't have that branding on there. But whether it's losing a customer because they can't install software, or having them do it this way, I'd much rather them do it this way, and they can still have that same experience. Cool. Yeah. So on the quote process, did that make sense about how to leave somebody in that powerful position of like knowing what to do and how to order from you at the end of a quote experience? Cool. Because if you get that down, if you get these two things down, easy order is a lot of rinse and repeat. And so getting the process down of adding a new customer, getting the process down of managing the quotes in this way, you can really keep everything all in the system. And like I said, it's putting business into the pipeline. And so even if they're not going to order from you, you have them in your system. You have an order form for them. They're being tracked. Things can happen. We have automated emails that can go out to the customer to go, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while. You got a quote from us, but you haven't ordered. Is there anything we can do for you? There are things that we have in the system that does that for you as well, which I'll check for you real quick. Marketing tools, automated emails. Let's see if you have these turned on. Doesn't look like you have any of these turned on. So I'm going to turn these on for you. And what these do are send out follow-up emails for different reasons. So one, this is the order frequency email. So when you get an email saying, hey, the customer hasn't ordered in 90 days or whatever, you normally get a notification. Well, now, because this is turned on, not only you will get the notification, but your customer will get a simple email sent out that says, hey, thank you for your online order with us before. Is there anything else we can do? Here's a link to download your ordering icon again if you lost it. And, we're here for you. So there's the email right there that goes out. This is a quote follow-up. If you give somebody a quote and they haven't converted that quote to an order form within 30 days, it sends out a thanks for completing your quote with Cartridge World. Appreciate your interest. Would you like a new quote? Make sure you can click on that show order form button at the bottom of the quote if you're ready to order. All that kind of stuff. This goes out to the customer, and on the first order, they get a welcome aboard. So I'm gonna turn all those on for you, so you'll have the system, helping you with those. We like to say, go ahead. Not singularly. It's not like a newsletter. It's just like a single email. So they don't necessarily need to opt out of it. If they reply back and go, don't ever send me anything ever again, then you just need to jump in easy order and delete them from your system. Okay, so going to, I think I'll tackle settings next because there's a bunch of settings questions, so I don't want to forget that. So when you go to store settings and preferences, you just click on your store. You can have multiple stores under the accounts. And here's where you set some of the stuff. So it looks like your tax rate at default is set to nothing. What is your tax rate? 517. And then do you have a blank delivery and shipping and free shipping minimum that you'd like to set as a default? Okay, even if they order like a $20 thing, you're going to deliver it to them for free? Okay, no worries. Is shipping a taxable item for your store? Customers can request local pickup. Order urgency options. This kind of gives them an option of I need it right away. I need it next 2-3 days. No rush. Okay, and then do you have a person servicing your printers that's not in your company that would have a different email that you would like to be alerted if a customer wanted to do a service call on their printer? Okay. Yep. And this is just for people who have like a department that's just for fixing, and they have this different guy that does it, and they want them to be notified of it as well. So that's only there for that. Sure. I know you guys. Okay, here's the lease reminder. How many days would you like that to be for your lease reminder? Okay. So there's that, and we'll set that up, hit save. If you guys want to go through the settings and kind of look at everything you have to offer the customer, these are services. At the end of a quote, if the customer generates a quote on their own, which I'll get to in a second, um, you can offer different services at the end of the quote, and they can, yeah, and they can request that you give them more information on these things. So if you do any of these things, I would suggest we turn them on. So any of these that you do, I'm sure that. Okay, cool. So what'll happen is at the end of a quote, it'll say, "Hey, we offer these other things. You're interested in any other information on some of these?" And they can check the ones they're interested in, and then you'll get a separate email saying, "This customer who also got a quote is interested in information on these services as well." So it kind of allows you to promote more of your services. The other ones you can just go through on your own. It's the welcome email. If you want to customize what's said here, you can change some of the text in your own welcome email. If you want to customize it more to your business, you can do that. These are different customer message, a thank you message, an order confirmation message, a review order message, and the green report, which is a different kind of thing. On quotes, this is your default for how you want the quotes to show up. So for example, you want to use the advanced quote as the default, yes or no? Do you want to hide the images that are at the bottom of the quote, the 100% guarantee and the little guy delivering cartridges? You can just kind of customize how you want to see your quote. So I always like to use the logo. And then this looks like a custom message. If you have additional printers or cartridges that are not on this quote, please call us and we'll calculate your additional savings. So it looks like somebody at some point has added that as a custom message to the footer. This you can now cut. This is new that you can customize this. This kind of shows in between the middle of the quote. People don't like this often same day, so if you don't like that, you can change it. You want to take out facts, you can take out that. But anyway, those are just kind of the basics of the quotes. And then this is the payment processor stuff. If you want to get info on authorize.net, you can click here to apply. And then that will give you all their fees and all the stuff for them. And then once you have the stuff, you just enable the payment processor by going authorize.net. You put in your login IDs and transaction keys, and you can enable payment processor by default for anybody new who comes on. So anybody new who comes on is going to be paying by credit card, or you can do no, and you can set that up each customer as you'd want. So you can get more info about that there. We also do PayPal Pro for Business. Everybody that's done it has done authorize.net though. Everything else is just kind of basic stuff. There's like, we can have salespeople, you can have templates if you want to look up orders. One thing as an administrator you're going to need to do is check your notifications. Looks like you guys got a bunch of them, which you probably need to go through. If you haven't, you don't look, if you're like, what's the screen? You probably need to go through and check out some of this stuff. You do get an email when a lot of this stuff happens, so this could be a lot of redundant stuff. But this is telling you that there's order frequency email alerts here. So there's 221 order frequency email alerts. There's 7 times the customer's contacted you. Can I make a payment online? If not, I'll call with some info. Please update shipping address. This is stuff that you absolutely need to be checking on and making sure that you've read. If you've read all these, you can just select all the items and click read and remove them sort of from the to-do list. If you just want, go ahead. Some of them do, some of them don't. And basically, like the contact would, the order frequency would, but something like this, the contact updated, where somebody's just kind of changed their contact information. So this is good information because, like, let's say, for example, they change their contact information and they change it on their system, and then you have the old one in your, notes, and they change their phone number. You can update your notes from these notifications, and then now you'll have all their updated, up-to-date information. So it just kind of helps you keep track of that. You wouldn't get a notification or an email from that. Service call, this is somebody that, this is the message from the customer service requested on entry number 1, Bob's and department parts print defect. And then it looks like this is maybe just a test because it was done in 2015. So it was probably just a test. But if you want to get kind of back to square one on these, you can always hit the reset button and it'll erase everything and they can start new, but I'll let you do that. I don't want to do it for you. When it comes to orders, if you want to check orders daily, you can either go down here to orders and check on orders received, or you can go back and to the main menu and you go to manage orders. And here's where you're going to see all your orders. Now, you will get orders in an email every time they're ordered. But because email is kind of fickle and I can't control email as a software developer, I can't do anything to make sure an email really gets to you. I can send one, but in 99% of the time it's going to get there. But there are times where people have sent an easy order in and the order gets delayed through the email chain and it shows up 5 hours later. And so you could have seen the order as it came in if you looked here, because it's live, and anytime an order is placed, it'll tell you exactly when it's placed, and it'll show up here. So if this order came in at 5:52 p.m., and that's when it hit your inbox, you're like, oh, I could have ordered that today, but I didn't get it till just now, and so easy orders, but it's really not us, it's the latency in the internet, which just happens. And so make sure you check this once or twice a day. I would, did we lose? Oh, I think it just killed the meeting because we just ran over the time, but everybody still there? Can you see my screen still? Okay, cool. I think it just cut it off because I set it for an hour and we went over. So anyway, check this area just because, again, because of those times and everything, you just want to check it once in the morning and maybe a couple hours before your cutoff time, maybe once more right before your cutoff time, just so you're not missing anything. And that way you'll get every order no matter what, I've had people call us and be upset and just be like, oh, you didn't get the order to us in time and it was ordered at this, but we got it then. So now we just upfront tell everybody, use email as kind of an alert for your orders, but always be checking the system as well. Under marketing tools, if you really want to get in here and kind of do some lost lead stuff, you want to see who's not ordering from you and maybe send information to them so that they can start ordering again, which is what a lot of people do when they've had an account for a long time and all of a sudden they want to get back and ramped up into using Easy Order, and they don't know where to start. The best way to do is to take your people who are already on the system and try to get them back on the system. And so you can go here to the order frequency reports in the marketing tools and go to, I want to see who's never ordered from me but is in my system. And you click go and you can see there's 6 pages of customers that have never ordered from you that are in your system. And so all you'd have to do is click export and that'll give you a spreadsheet of your customer's contact info, their email, their phone number, their customer name, all that kind of stuff, the attention field so that you get who to speak to. And you can call these people back and just be like, hey, at one point in time you had an order form with us for ordering cartridges, and I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know you still do have this order form in our system, and I could update it for you or show you how to use it by sending you a welcome email again, but we'd love to take care of you and your printing needs. And I'm just kind of going down the list and making sure I call everybody who had an account with us to see if you would like to get it back and get started with us. So it's a great place to start if you're trying to do some lost lead stuff and pick the low-hanging fruit. These are people who have already spent the time to get an account with you, have already been put in. At one point they were doing business with you, so why not go after these people again and try to get them to order from you. The other thing you can do is if you do email newsletter marketing, you can also go here, and this is your entire lot of customers in Easy Order. You can easily export your customers if you want to do a monthly newsletter, just telling them about some different stuff. You can do that. One really fun thing that I suggest people do, and this is not regulated by Cartridge World or anything, this is just, I would tell any toner reseller that's working with Easy Order to do this within their company, is that people really don't love to read ink and toner newsletters. Like, there's no real reason for them to actually open that email because it's just information about ink and toner, which is not the most interesting thing in the world to the regular person. So what we've done before in the past to change that for a company is you can go, let's say, for example, Lori, there's a hot new movie out. Let's say it's the new, Batman movie or whatever it is. You go out and you get 2 tickets to that movie, or you go out and just get a free movie pass to any movie, like a gift card to the whole movie place, so they can go see any movie they wanted. And then you put that in your newsletter at the very first. This week or this month, we're giving away 2 passes to go to AMC theaters and see whatever movie you want. And you can even go to the internet and like put a graphic of the passes that they have on there, or the picture of the movie that they're wanting to see, or even dinner for 2. I mean, just a small thing that costs maybe under $50 max. And you do that once a month, and you say, okay, we're giving this out at the end of the month for anybody who submits an order on their Easy Order account, and submits an order. You get entered to win this prize. And so at the end of the month, you pick from the people who have ordered through Easy Order. And of course, you can always talk about it. You can be, hey, are you registered to win our free movie tickets, when you talk to somebody on the phone, or you talk to an old customer who may not be on the system, and you can say, they say, no, we're not. What are you doing? Well, let me get you an Easy Order account, because that's how you register to win. You just place an order on your Easy Order account, and you'll be registered to win this cool stuff. And you bet at the end of the month, once they see that and they know there's a contest going on, the next email newsletter you send out saying, hey, here's who won the movie passes. This is A Better Smile. Lori Gardner won these movie passes, and congratulations, Lori. Hey, and if you ever need to work on your teeth or get anything done, go see A Better Smile. And you're promoting your customer to all your other customers in your newsletter. They've just won something, so they're going to keep ordering from you because they love this. You're giving people a reason to open up your newsletter other than kind of some boring content, and it's kind of a fun thing to do within the confines of your store. I've seen people, tape the pulling of names out, of a hat and show it on YouTube for their customers. I mean, you can take it as far as you want it, but getting an entertaining newsletter and giving them a reason to open it will give them a reason to read through the rest of it. And so you don't have to do this. This is just something I've seen before, and this worked really well for people with newsletters. So I'm just kind of giving you, some ideas that you can maybe run with for your own store. One other thing that I want to show you before I go, this is really advanced, but this is combining some of my, and I have webinars on all this stuff that are recorded on our YouTube channel. So I'll give you a link to that when we're done, and you can kind of peruse it at your own time. But I'm sharing with you the most effective way to market and get customers in today's market for ink and toner. It's not the hitting the streets anymore. It's not the banging on doors. I mean, you can still do that, but you can cover so much more ground, and you can target better customers doing what I'm about to show you. And what I'm about to show you, and this is advanced kind of stuff that I talk about, LinkedIn for Business is one of the best way to garner leads and get people. It's really the best way to market in today's age. Marketing now is not, they're still networking, they're still doing all that kind of stuff, but you can get more done sitting at a console in front of LinkedIn in a couple hours that you could do at all on foot or on the phone or anything else. Plus, you bust through the gatekeepers, you get right to where you need to go. And so let me show you what I do and what I've been training Cartridge Worlds to do when they do marketing. Now, LinkedIn has 2 versions. They have just a basic LinkedIn, and then they have a LinkedIn for Business. And the LinkedIn for Business will cost you about $80 a month. Let me make sure nobody's in the chat asking questions. Okay, good. Oh, you can see my LinkedIn. Can you hear me? I may have to call you again. Can anybody hear me? Okay, cool. Hold on. Let me call her back. I don't know why we keep getting cut off. 7501. Well, still says I have you. End call. I'm ending the whole call. Okay, cool. Eight 935 2701. Okay, calling you back, Lori. Let's at least you can hear me. Lori, can you hear me? I can't hear you, but it looks like it's trying to call you back. I'm not getting a ringing. If you can hear me, but oh no. 2701. Well, can you hear me at least so I can go through this part, and even if I can't talk to you back, I can call you at the end of this, and we can. Yeah, it says failed to call you. Are you off your line, Glenn? Okay, and I can't hear you, Glenn. That's weird because you're supposedly on the line too. Let's try this again. Glenn, can you hear me now? Or can you speak now? Because I tried to unmute everybody. Well, if you can hear me, I can finish the presentation, and then we can just communicate through the chat. Is that all right, just to get through this? Cool. All right, so this LinkedIn, and again, this is kind of like off subject for easy order, but if you're going to be doing the marketing, this has seriously helped so many people doing this. Again, to get into the Sales Navigator, it's going to cost you about $80 a month to do it, and so I would definitely do it as a marketing expense if you just want to try it and see how it's working out for you. But this is the difference between marketing with just traditional methods and marketing with social media. In LinkedIn, You have these things called in-mails that you can send somebody that you don't know or you're not contacted with. An in-mail, it could be a promotion, it could be an introduction, it could be anything, but it's a little small message to go to somebody who you're not connected with. And if you are in LinkedIn for business, you get 30 of them a month. So that's 30 potential leads that you can get a month. When I was first talking to this with some people, they were like, how many emails do you get a day? I was like, well, I get about 300 emails a day. I do. I've had my email address for probably 15 years, and so it just gets spammed like crazy. That's why I have these really crazy spam filters and blockers on my stuff to just filter through only what I need to. And he's like, well, would you open an email from somebody who's trying to email market to you, or did you get 300 emails in a day? And he said, how many LinkedIn messages do you get in a week? I said, well, I get one or two, maybe three. He goes, would you rather be in the 300 emails a day pile, or would you rather be in the one or two LinkedIn messages a week pile? And I'm like, thinking about, wow, it makes a lot of sense. I'd rather be in the one message, or two messages a week pile and have them see that and actually see my message than being in the other pile. So when people get a message on LinkedIn, a lot of times they'll go look at it pretty much right away if they're involved with LinkedIn. And so it's a great way for you to market to customers. And this is what I mean by marketing to customers. When you're here, you can search for customers. So you can search for leads, you can search for accounts, you can search for mentions in the news, all this kind of stuff. But really, you want to search for the type of customer you're looking for. And that's the other thing, is a lot of people just take the business that's around them. What you want to do is figure out people who have lots of printers in their businesses, lawyers, CPAs that do heavy printing, and you want to target those types of customers. You don't have to take the customers that come to you. You can go out and get the customers you want. And so for now, I'm gonna look at CPAs, because CPAs are people who are printing a lot. And again, with Easy Order, you don't have to have people that are right next to you to be a client. If you get this client and they're anywhere in the US, you can market to them and service them, because you can drop ship to them, you can do anything. And so once this 1.2 million results of CPAs. Now, obviously, you don't want to go in through there. You want to be able to kind of narrow this down. So if you wanted to add a location, like you guys are in Oklahoma, if you wanted to go, Oklahoma, right? So that narrows it down to 5,600 CPAs in the Oklahoma area. And so you could, any of these people could be your customer, and it goes anywhere from a single, person that's a CPA. This person was Excel Financial, so they're with a bigger company. But then you have people who are just like their own, like this one, Tom Buxton. He's Tom Buxton III, CPA. He's his own owner. He's been doing CPA for 35 years. Any of these people could be customers. And so with this, you can save them as leads. When I was talking about this with my daughter and my wife, and I was explaining this theory, my daughter was like, oh, so it's like Facebook stalking for business. And I was like, yeah, it absolutely is like Facebook stalking for business, because once you find something that you're interested in creating a lead for, you can click on that person, and usually anybody with a picture is definitely somebody who uses LinkedIn. If they don't have a picture, I wouldn't bother with them. But you can look at her and go, okay, she was a financial recruiter. She's she's part of the city chamber at Oklahoma side of CPAs. Maybe she was Central College of Oklahoma Business Administration. So anything you have in common with this person, let's say you went to the University of Central Oklahoma, you can start out and send them a message, and I don't know her from anybody, but I can send them a message because I have 30 in-mails that I can use. So you basically send her a message, and the more personal the message you can be, oh, you went to the University of Oklahoma, go Cougs, or whatever they are. My name is Glenn, and I'm working with Cartridge World, and I know you guys do a lot of printing, and probably printing takes up about, 20% of your business as a CPA. I can definitely save you money in your process. We can take it all over so you don't have to worry about your printer cartridges anymore. When you need to order, we have a really easy way of ordering. If you'd like more information, just let me know, and send that quick message to them, and it's personalized and it's to them, and you can literally figure out, it'll show you, who's connected to, if you're connected to people, who's connected to her that also knows you. So you can say, hey, Todd asked me to talk to you about, you getting some business done because we know you need to save money and you don't want to deal with printers and that kind of stuff. So if you spend your time every month sending out every single one of your in-mails and soliciting your business to strangers, but that are in the realm of customers that you want to get, you will have so much more success in taking these people who you could never probably get to in the real world because they're behind offices and secretaries and everything else. You're sending a message directly to Debbie when you are doing this type of work. So what it does is it takes you through all the minutia of trying to get in front of the customer, and it's a numbers game at this point. You send out all your in-mails every month, and if you get 2 or 3 customers from those 30, that's pretty good. And you keep doing it every month, and you keep doing it every month. And finally, once you start getting customers that are in the system that are ordering and they're ordering frequently, then you start asking your own customers for referrals. Do you know anybody else who would love to have the same kind of service I provide? And then you find them on LinkedIn, or you just market them to yourselves and just say, hey, Debbie said that you could probably use we service Debbie all the time, and she is so happy with us, and we saved her a lot of money. So this is kind of the new way of marketing that you can still cover a lot of ground, but you're not doing traditional walk up, cold call, kind of thing. So does this part kind of make sense to you? I know it's pretty advanced, but it definitely flips the script on marketing. Cool. All right. Well, since we can barely talk and all this is being recorded, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you don't have any questions, or if you have any questions, you can go to RemanResource.com. This is our main website. Our phone numbers are up here and then also down at the bottom. And then if you need anything in the system, like you're in the system and you need something, all you have to do is click on help. There's 2 types of support tickets, a general support ticket and a request to add product. A general support ticket will just be like, hey guys, I don't know how to do this. And a request to add product is you went to go put something in the system and it's not there. Maybe it's a new cartridge your customer has that we haven't added to the system yet. You let us know what you need and we'll add it to the system and then get you back. I'm going to record, the video's been recorded. I'm going to process the video, edit it if I need to, and put it up on an unlisted YouTube link. And I'll send both of you this link. So if you want to go back and look at this training later on, including the LinkedIn stuff, which I know is kind of different, but hopefully you can see the benefits of doing something like that. And then you can look at it anytime. So I'll send it off to you as soon as I get it. Sorry for all the phone problems. And Lori, if you hear me and if you need anything else, just let me know and I'll be here for you guys. All right, thanks so much, Glenn and Lori. I'll talk to y'all soon.